Great rising, beautiful beings. Great rising, beautiful beings. This is RevereSkye's Essence. Let's chat for a minute. Let's decipher something. Do you ever like to decipher something? Like a dream or a situation? Well, you might like this. Peep game. So, as you know, I am a truck driver. That's my trade, my hobby, my sport. And I pulled over in an unknown location to actually sleep for the night. Well, it's off beaten path. So another truck driver followed me into the spot. Okay, so I did a U-turn. Boom. Parked. They come to a complete stop. Then all of a sudden I heard them start. They came behind me, did a U-turn, and all of a sudden they started dragging. I'm like, I don't remember seeing anything back there. What did they hit? And it was like, like it was shaking the whole ground. Yeah, trucks shake the whole ground. That's why you should stay out the way. They're like a freight train on wheels, okay? Very dangerous. Stay out the way of trucks. Don't ride beside them. If they come into a light, don't hop over. Don't jump the gun and hop over. Allow them to utilize the complete stop. Okay? Well, that's just some safety tips for the day. Stay the fuck out the way of a truck. Okay. So he's in the driveway. He's doing the U-turn. He's following the same maneuver I did. All of a sudden, something's stopping him. And I'm like, oh my God, I hope he didn't hit the light pole. But usually if you hit a light pole or a person's car, it doesn't stop you. So I knew then something about his truck was stopping him. So instead of him handling his situation, since I freshly got there, he approached me. He got out the truck. He started running. He was like, sir, I had a hoodie on. He was like, sir. And then I guess he finally seen my face when I rolled the window down. It was like, oh, I didn't know you was a woman. It was funny. So I like when they call me sir and they finally realize I'm a female. I didn't even have to say nothing. He was like, oh, I didn't know you was a woman. I'm sorry. So next thing you know, he's explaining his situation. He was like, oh, my glad hands. The glad hands are the service lines to supply the trailer air. If the trailer don't get air, it can't move. Okay. So I'm like, Lord, he done blocked off a whole road. What he's saying is unrealistic. But this is not even the point. I just got to tell this story. We're going to get to the whole principle of this story, but just hear me out. He's asking me, should he drop the trailer and get back under it? I said, wait a minute. Are you in a ditch? Like, we in a big-ass parking lot with a road. What did you do? So I get out the truck, lock the door. I go down there and look at the situation. I assess the situation. His glad hands are protected. They did not tear. They did not rip. They actually released themselves and came off. That was so lucky. He was so lucky. He was still able to supply his trailer air. Because if you can't supply the trailer air, it won't move. Okay? That's why we take air brake tests. You have to take an air brake test, okay, to operate these vehicles, okay? So I'm looking and I'm like, what is all this contraption? He got this big rectangle metal thing welded to the catwalk, and it got an arm on it, and the cords somehow went between the arm of this big contraption. I've never seen a truck with this on it, but it had a big contraption like a headache rack or something to store stuff or protect stuff. And I said, why do you have this on your catwalk? He said it came with the truck. I said, do you see that the hoses got trapped behind this arm right here when you turn? So the arm, the ropes hang on a spring. But somehow, maybe wind and bouncing, all his lines went behind the arm of this big contraption. I said, don't touch nothing. Take a picture of that so your company knows. So your company knows this right here is an issue. This is not your fault. How did you know that your cords was going to go behind the arm of this big rectangle thing? So, luckily, the only thing came out of the trailer was the power cord. The power cord is what supplied the trailer lights. Awareness. Lights is saying, I'm here. I could turn left, I could turn right. Brake lights. He had no lights on his trailer. There was no way to identify. This is, I'm going to explain this. I hope I remember it. Please remember what I wanted to just say. His glad hands was fine. He was able to operate the truck. He was able to be in motion. He has motion. But he has no signals. He has no light. He has no brakes. No, he got brakes. He can't notify nobody he's there. Does that make sense? He can't let nobody know he's going left. He can't let nobody know he's going right. He can't let nobody know he's stopping. A police seeing him going down the road would just see a blacked out trailer, no lights, right? Another key, the pigtail, the power supply. Okay, you know you got prongs. You stick the prongs in the wall, right? Well, imagine the prongs stayed in the wall, but the cord came out of the prongs. Okay? You done seen a charger do that before, right? The tip fall off, but the cord's still there. You know, the tip get real loose, it fall off of the charger. Well, the harness part fell out of the pigtail that stuck into the trailer. So I'm explaining to him, I'm like, how far do you have to go? You might need service to come out here and put the wires back in the pigtail. He was like, he didn't say nothing. So I was like, where you from? He was like, Philly. I was like, oh, okay. I was like, I'm working up this way. He was like, where you from, Tennessee? I was like, no. And when I told him Georgia, he spit on the ground. Pay attention to this. I said, I'm from Georgia. He spit on the ground. Like, you know, Georgia's so hyped up with Atlanta that it made him feel some type of way. So he spit on the ground. Territorial. It's like tribal war. It's like, oh, y'all niggas down there with the granite while we got the quartz up here. Like, we got the Herkimer diamond up here. You know, like, you don't see it, but the spirits don't lie. Like, how you tell me where you from? And I didn't even say Atlanta. I just said Georgia, then you spit on the ground. Ain't no fucking way. That's territory. That's spirit. That's like saying, oh, I would have gave you a pass with Tennessee, but Atlanta, everybody want to be in Atlanta. Everybody want to be in Georgia. You know what I mean? So he spit on the ground. Territory. This the man that told me to come help him, but he got in his feelings and spit on the ground when I said I was from Georgia. Okay, but back to it. So he's able to navigate his ship. He got the truck. He got the trailer. He took the pictures for verification that this contraption, imagine if it would have did it on the road. He would have been stuck in the middle of the highway or getting off the highway somewhere. He acted like he was new. I said, are you new? He said, this is my first day here. I said, are you new? Like, they just gave you your own truck? He was like, no, this is my first day with this company. And I was like, oh, okay. He was like, and yeah, I never seen this back here either. Like, you see this with a flatbed or something. I was like, yeah, that is weird. They gave you a brand new truck with this big contraption back here. That is strange. Okay, so, I said, just verify so they'll know that you didn't do this. Because, See, the company will think that you dropped the trailer and you pulled away with the cord still attached and you snatched the cords. You get what I'm saying? So I told him stop, take pictures so they'll know he didn't try to pull away from the trailer with all the cords still attached. I've done it before. I was somewhere. Now I lowered the landing gear for my protection. Take the cords off. I used to get paranoid, so I used to take the cords off first. But I felt like lowering the landing gear is more important. Because if you pull from under that trailer and that trailer ain't got no legs under it, you fucked. Okay? So I always lower the landing gear first. And then I do the cords. But it's best to do the cords first, then the landing gear. But I'm going to tell you, it's been a time where I've taken them cords off. And somebody start talking or somebody speak to you. And you don't complete the follow through of take it. And then you get in the truck and the legs are not down. Yeah. Okay, don't fuck up like that. But back to it. So what is this symbolically telling us? We have a vessel that can move, that has everything intact, but it does not have any notifying lights. It does not have any bells and whistles to let something know it's coming down the road. Okay? Not only that, it's not the source. The source is the tractor. The tractor is what supplies the trailer air brakes, lights, power. So the source is fine. It's the package. The package is moving. But it's not notifying anybody that it is coming. Does that make sense? You got this truck, which is the source, that supplies the trailer lights, brakes, awareness. Okay? So the package is intact. You're still able to move your emotion, but you don't have no bells and whistles letting people know that you're stopping, going, or coming. Okay? And then the fact that the power cord, the harness, snatched out of the pigtail and left the pigtail with the package. Okay? Now, this is when things get strange. So I get back to my truck. I want to charge my phone up. I want to plug it up. Guess what? I'm like, why isn't the cord in the charger? So I picked the cord up off the floor. Guess what? The little silver prong is stuck in the port. In the little C part is stuck inside the charger, the source of the power. And the cord is on the float. So we got two different situations on different scales. He just lost his power cord, which was connected to his source, energy, the truck. I just lost my power cord, but the prong was connected to the source energy of the truck. His pigtail was connected to the trailer. It didn't have no power. Didn't have no source. Does that make sense? My power cord, my pigtail, was still connected to the source. This is not about him. This is something. How the hell did that happen? He just lost his power cord or power supply to his freight. Then I just lost the power cord in my vehicle on a smaller scale to my charger. What does that mean? My pigtail stayed connected to source. His pigtail disconnected from source and stayed with the package. What this boils down to is, we're going to talk about the soulless part first. A lot of people moving. A lot of people can move, but they ain't got no light. They ain't got no notification. They ain't got no bells and whistles. They have no light. They have no supply of the source. They can move, but they have no source. They have no connectedness to the source. Then this could be another thing saying you have to connect back. There's a bridge or there's a weak spot and you need to connect back to source energy. Something is misaligned, something is detached, something is disconnected. Something needs to be merged or plugged back into source. Simply, another thing, it could be simply saying disconnect, unplug. Okay? But if you have a full vessel, but it ain't got no lights, the truck has the lights. It's the source. But the truck can't supply lights to the package, the trailer, the shipment. Okay? But what if there's actually a package coming, but you don't know it's coming? What if there's actually a package coming, but it ain't got no bells and whistles, no lights, no detection, but it's coming? What if there's darkness that's coming, and once it plugs up to you, it can light? It has light. That'd be like you are a source energy and there's a man that has no light, but once he plugs his phallus in you, he has all the power in the world. Say it again, Revere Sky. Imagine you are connected to source energy. You are the middleman between God and this reality. Say it again, Revere Sky. You are the middleman between God and this reality. So, a person that has no connectedness plugs into your source energy to gain light, to gain wisdom, because they have no connectedness. Okay? This is how a lot of women get robbed of their source energy or their power. And it seems like the man don't know he doing it, but his instinct's doing it. I've seen it before where it seemed like the man is trying to tap into you. Like he's not trying to arouse you or please you. He trying to tap into some energy he ain't even got. Okay? So I've gave you like 4 scenarios. So see how that works in your life. Are you the source of light, but you're not supplying anything? Or maybe you don't need to supply this package. Maybe you don't need to supply this freight. Maybe you don't need to help other people gain access like you. Maybe you need to cut the package off. Maybe you need to cut the training off. Maybe you don't need to train nobody. Are you disconnected from source energy? Are you anchored into the cosmos, the ethers? Where is your silver line cord running? Just because your soul is tethered to your body, that don't mean your body is connected to source energy. I'm not talking about vitality. I'm talking about where you receive downloads and upgrades, and you're a lighthouse, you're informative, meaning data flows through you, gnosis flows through you, the Akashic records is at your disposal. You can access it. Have your cords been severed? And then I reflect on my own life. You know, this was an echo. Have you ever seen an echo? Something happened on a bigger scale and then it happened on a smaller scale. That's like there could be an explosion somewhere in the world and then your microwave blow up. You don't think that's an echo? There could be an explosion somewhere and your cell phone combusts. That's an echo. Time for me to get up. Okay. So yeah, there could be an echo somewhere. So just be mindful of this. Be mindful of this. There is some type of weakness or there's some type of vulnerability, because if everything was in order, the power cord wouldn't have got snatched out, leaving the pigtail behind. There's a cord that connects you between some type of source energy and some type of package. Okay? It's either weak or severed or disconnected. And there's a possibility that you can bring this back online. Okay? I'm going to leave it there. If you'd like to donate to the channel, by all means, read the description. Okay? Donate to the channel, get you a sample read on video. Also, if you would like to book a session or a consultation, by all means, check out the links in the description. Until next time, unearth the magic. The truth will definitely set you free. If you feel like you would like to check on your cord, your connection to source, by all means, I can probably guide you. And I'm going to say probably, because some people connectedness is completely severed, closed off, and it would take a lot to bring it back. It has to be their own willpower to want to reconnect. Okay? This does not mean that you're soulless, but some people lights may be out. Some people may be a package with no light, no aura. Okay? Just something to think about. Some people may be disconnected from that information. And the masculine principle may be disconnected from that information because they don't have that womb. They don't have that portal. Okay? And they have to align like a dock, stick their phallus in a socket and receive the information. Okay? So it's different perspectives. Just see how it aligns with your life. And if you would like a full reading, by all means, check out the link in the description. Until next time, unearth the magic. The truth will definitely set you free. Mwah.